Destiny. The live service game model every man and his dog, or CEO and their publisher, want to emulate. A game series that is about to become 10 years old, wrapping up its story of the Light and Darkness saga. A game that is so very special, and whether you like it or not, has changed the gaming landscape. Today, I want to explain to you why this game is so special, invite you into the world of Destiny, and show you just why people can't get enough of this game, this franchise, and why I don't think there's anything quite like it in video games. I want to begin with how I really got into this game, how I began. Being upfront, I played the beta of the original and never actually got the first game. I played the original Destiny 2 campaign upon release on my PlayStation, and then came back when they made the controversial decision to kill off arguably its most popular character, Cayde 6, a shit-talking hunter who everyone got along with. Forsaken arrived at the same time as me building my first ever gaming PC, and hearing just how good the game looked and played on PC, I gave it a second shot. I loved the Forsaken story, and the campaign had a ton of fun stuff and the new subclass Void, but it wasn't until 2 seasons later that Destiny had me. It wasn't until the season of the Drifter I became a huge Destiny fan. See, leading up to the season of the Drifter, there was talk of Destiny 1's most controversial weapon returning in Destiny 2, Thorn. A hand cannon that dealt damage over time, essentially what we thought was poisoning, with a slick looking design. I was fascinated by the talk about this gun that I had to get it myself and try it. So, to do this, I followed a sequence of quests, leading me down a path that I learned more and more about this weapon. See, in any other game, an exotic is an exotic because it does plus 25 extra headshot damage, or maybe has a cool kill effect. Every exotic in Destiny has its own unique standout feature. Every one of them feels unique, looks unique, sounds unique. They're not just the same assault rifle with a fresh coat of paint. They are its own thing. But it wasn't the intrigue of whether Thorn would break the game again, or whether it would actually make me half decent at PvP. This gun has its own story. A deeper story than I'd argue some AAA video games do. For one gun. As of this video, there are 85 exotic guns in Destiny, each with its own unique lore about how and why it exists. Do you realise how insane that is? Anyway, back to Thorn. This was brought into the game during a season when there was a big question about morals and moral ambiguity. Thorn itself actually has a history with the very first gunslinger, a guardian once known as Reza Lazir, who became so obsessed with wanting more, that the whispers of the darkness grew into a voice that led to him turning away from the light into becoming Dredgen Yor, leading to a showdown with the first owner and the original owner of the Last Word, another exotic hand cannon in the game, in which Dredgen, with his former hand cannon named Rose, had now become Thorn, killed the owner of the Last Word. A whole story about corruption, darkness, the light, revenge, mentorship, all from lore entries on 2 exotics. A whole battle, a whole pillar. Now look, I'm keeping this short, but this is the story of 2 exotic guns in Destiny. My name is Byth, who is an incredible content creator, has a 1 hour and 20 minute video explaining the entire timeline of just these events. Events about the first gunslinger, how a gun once named Rose became the corrupted Thorn. I own a little Thorn miniature as a result of my fascination with this gun. That's how much this game got me. Like I said at the top, these are stories about exotic weapons that are deeper than most video games. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I read everything about every exotic that I own, because I definitely don't. But the fascination that I have with this and so many other guns in this game, because I play solely as a hunter, so to get this depth, this background, it was insane to me. And what started off as, ooh, cool looking gun, that was controversial is coming back, sent me down a quest that left me fascinated to understand the story of how Thorn came to be, what it meant to be in my possession, and from that point, I was in on this universe. But whilst it was Destiny's incredible lore and storytelling that got me into this game, it was the game itself that kept me around. Destiny is special. While stories and worlds can be built out over years, traditionally it happens in sequels. I'm talking God of War, Halo, Uncharted. When a game is out, there's secrets to discover, but then once they've been collected, catch you again in 4 years' time to discover more. Destiny is constantly telling new stories, expanding its universe, its characters, worlds, or taking stuff away, but let's not talk about sunsetting right here, shall we? Next year sees the release of the final shape, the final chapter in Destiny's Light and Darkness saga. Last week we got a teaser for it, and before I even speak about Cayde returning, there was a brief montage of all the major battles and fights that we'd had leading up to this very moment. It had me feeling sentimental. Memories of defeating raid bosses with friends after hours of trying. Set pieces that left me stunned upon seeing them for the first time. Revelations that nobody saw coming. Music with a scale of grandeur. It's not a case of Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. It's the story of Destiny. A constantly moving, updating universe with stories and characters that reflect some of your own hardships in life. That although you might not be a space wizard, you connect with them. Grief, sorrow, anger, bravery, devotion, sacrifice. This brings me beautifully to the fact that Cayde is returning for the final expansion. And yeah, right now it feels like a somehow Palpatine return moment, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. See, Lance Reddick recently passed away, leaving the community feeling deflated because he loved the game and the character that he played, Commander Zavala. But more than that, he was a terrific human being. So knowing this journey is going to end without him is always going to be tough. So having Cayde return leaves us feeling sentimental. That the trio that started this journey with us all, in the words of Ikora, I'm just glad you're here now. So, look, I've spoken about the deep lore, I've spoken about its story and status, but this is a video game. Does it actually play well? Let me tell you right now, there is no chance people would have thousands of hours in this game if it did not. If it did not give you that power fantasy of being a Guardian. Destiny 2 came out in 2017, and in my eyes has top 3 gunplay of any shooters on the market right now. And to be honest with you, I find it hard to make a case of anything beating it. The way the game has evolved over the years, from build crafting, new perks, new subclasses, subclass updates and refreshes, it is insane how many different playstyles and synergies this game creates. I only play as a hunter, not because I don't want to be a space wizard as a warlock, or sci-fi Kratos as a titan. It's mostly because of time, but even within a hunter, I can be a gunslinging cowboy, a lightning fast quick hitting flash, stealth ninja void, or using a strand and having a whip. Now that's just the hunter. Now imagine that for 2 whole other classes. It is crazy the amount of depth here. The gunplay itself, it's insane to me just how good of a job Bungie does in making all the weapons feel and sound unique. Yes, you get some similarities in some of the legendary weapons, the odd reskin, but the sound design and effort from gun to gun is unmatched. Like I mentioned, 85 exotics, not a single one being a reskin. All with their own lore, all with their own unique perk. My favourite exotics, the Forerunner, which is basically the Halo Combat Evolved pistol, and when your super attack is full, you can turn your grenade into a frag grenade from Halo. How cool is that? Thorn, like I mentioned, Ace of Spades, the hand cannon of Cayde 6, which as a hunter, it's the weapon you have to have with the history of it, the meaning of it. As of recently, I've loved Quicksilver Storm, which is an assault rifle that also fires grenades as you shoot the enemy. The more shots you land, you build up grenade meter, which then allows you to switch your assault rifle into a grenade launcher and do big damage. That's 4 weapons out of 85. It just blows my mind. Bungie recently added the huge quality of life update of loadouts so we can finally save class specific builds in game and switch on the fly between them. But each gun has its own story. What activities you used it for, what moment in Destiny you played through with it. Your character is you. Bungie have done a terrific job with cosmetics too. I mean, look at my outfits and tell me they're not a 10 out of 10. Though this is also me confirming I've spent way too much money on this game. But you gotta look your best when killing gods after all. You go on a journey with these weapons, and although weapon crafting has took a little bit out of that being your unique gun, your unique role, they still carry that story. Right now, there's 5 subclasses, all corresponding to elements and themes. Arc being electricity, Void more cosmic based, Solar which is fire, Stasis being ice, and Strand being the energy that connects all things and minds in the universe. Will we get a 6th for final shape? Let's see. Now, gameplay only matters if the activities you are doing are fun, deep, and rewarding. I want to talk to you about raids. Here's the thing, I genuinely believe that everyone at some point should play a raid in Destiny 2. I see Destiny's raids as one of the pinnacle experiences in video games. I play a lot of video games, single player and multiplayer, and as far as experiences go, Destiny raids is one of the best you can experience. The blend of gameplay, mechanics, visuals, design and collaboration makes for a perfect gaming experience. You are forced to work together. There are many co-op games on the market. Very few have this level of rewarding collaboration. You have to work as a well-oiled machine or else you won't be able to complete it. In most raids, every single member has an important role. No matter what you are doing, you are a valuable member of the fire team that without, the task will be 1,000 times harder for everyone. They're a 6-player activity because every member of the fire team counts. Maybe that sounds stressful or overwhelming. It can be stressful, but nothing beats that final part where you wipe the boss and you have everyone screaming and celebrating because you finally did it. I've played raids for 3 hours. I've played raids for 8 hours. Even when you mess up, it feels like you're learning more, getting better each time. One more run becomes 20 more runs. The raid design themselves have got better over the years. There's still 1 or 2 from the early days that I haven't ran yet, just because of scheduling my raid gang. It kills me that some people who play the campaigns may never play a raid, and I find that such a shame because I can't emphasize just what an experience you are missing here. I know raids exist in other video games, but I don't think anyone does them as well as Bungie. See, Bungie don't just reward you with cool loot, the feeling or pride and joy of beating it, or the sense of teamwork you just accomplished. They reward you with moments that you'll never forget, an environment you saw for the first time, a gameplay moment of someone in the fire team coming in clutch, a perfect run, getting the raid exotic weapon. Being more specific, the first time you saw the worm in Vow of the Disciple, defeating Oryx, watching him drift away into space, watching Nezarec descend upon down after teasing and mocking you the entire raid. They're just a few. Often, you play God of War or Red Dead Redemption, and it has moments in its story that stick with you forever. Destiny 2 has that in abundance. It's not just story revelations, it's organic gameplay moments, raid encounters, loot drops, environments you discover. After every raid we beat, we always get a screenshot, because it's a memorable moment the first time you ever beat it, something to remember. Now look, maybe you don't know 5 people who play Destiny, or you're a little anxious to use an LFG to gather a fire team.
You think so?
Bungie's got you covered. Dungeons act as mini raids, taking around half the time. They often use light raid mechanics, but always with the same narrative relevance, the same absurdly good artistic design, huge scale encounters, and still memorable moments. Each dungeon again, different aesthetic, loot and rewards, environments, bosses. There's no similarities between any of them. They're all themed in a different way. This season we got Ghosts of the Deep, and this was Bungie at their best. Huge narrative implications, fun gameplay mechanics, and outstanding visuals. These dungeons are for a fire team of 3, and whilst they don't quite hit the same heights of the team feeling a raid provides, it's still an enthralling and heroic one nonetheless.
Oh, right.
And even then, say you don't want to deep dive into a dungeon. Bungie has had a huge return to form with its narrative campaigns with The Witch Queen and Lightfall. The Witch Queen in particular reminding everyone just how good of a campaign Bungie can produce on a scale that I don't think they've hit since the Halo days. often teaching the fundamentals of the game and with some light raid mechanics too. Bombastic set pieces, shattering revelations, gorgeous and inspired environments. For a 2017 game, this game looks incredible. Point is, gameplay wise, there's such variety in activities, each offering their own unique thing. Now, Bungie, let's get some fresh Gambit maps, please. I'm still an avid Gambit enjoyer. I just wish that Destiny had a smoother onboarding experience for new or lapsed players, because truth is, unless you're ready to follow guides, you need someone who plays to ask questions to inform you how things work, to run you through it all. If you have that, I cannot recommend enough just how much you should give this game a shot. But if you don't, it really pains me just how hard it is to recommend this game to someone fresh. Bungie was acquired for $3.6 billion by Sony, which at the time everyone thought was expensive. But let me tell you, Sony knows, because nobody has cracked live service like Destiny. We're currently on Season 21, Season of the Deep, and each season brings new loot, activities, battle pass, lore, story, and more tears from PvP players who feel left out. But sorry PvP players, Marathon's coming soon, maybe that'll do it for you, I'm sorry. I bring this up because although the seasonal model is now well due an overhaul, no live service game offers up this much content on the cadence that Destiny does. And the best part is, it really respects your time. If you just want to keep up with the story, Bungie will ask for no more than 30 to 60 minutes a week to stay up to date. But if you want to do everything, craft every weapon, each season is jam-packed, and for the turnaround in which they do so, I think it's incredible how they do it. There is always a reason to keep coming back. Not every season has done it for me, but I always want to keep in touch with what's happening. There's always something meaningful season to season. The quality of the storytelling too, of the last 2 years of seasons, I mean the writing. Holy shit, the writing. Particularly in Season of the Haunted. This season made me feel things that few video games do. Yes, there were narrative misses in Lightfall, but I am so invested as to how all this is going to end. These characters, they are your mentor, your guide. They have shepherded players through the last 9 years of their lives. One final battle against the Witness awaits. The endgame style expansion draws near, and I have faith that Bungie can pull it off. Now, if I haven't made it clear, there isn't one major reason behind why those that play Destiny do, because there isn't one. There are many. That is shown even across the content creators themselves, lore masters like My Name is Bife, high damage build creators, world first raid runners like Datto and Saltagrepo, campaign and story enjoyers, loot chasers, PvP players, though that one's a little bit rough, I'll be honest. Truth is, the reason you come and play Destiny may be different to the next 100 Destiny players you meet. That's what makes this game special. Destiny has become an experience around how you want to play it and what you want to play it for. It isn't perfect, and in fact, there has never been a truer sentence spoken than nobody hates Destiny more than Destiny players. But you can also reverse that, because deep down, we all just love playing this game, living and existing in this world. I hope that this video has gave you an insight as to why this game is so special to those that play it, why it has changed video games, and why there are hundreds of Destiny clones, but there's only one Destiny. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button. It helps me out massively, and I'd really appreciate it. Truth is, if you enjoy talking all things video games, and a big fan of the worlds that Bungie create, you're in the right place, so go ahead and subscribe. I've got you covered. Have a terrific day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Eyes up, Guardians.